the truth. This is the Joy Sports Link, and today we're just throwing focus on the search for the replacement for Coach Otto Addo with some close to 70 days to the FIFA World Cup. This is the very first time in our history that we're confronted with such a situation where a coach has qualified the team for the World Cup and we have to replace him ahead of the tournament. And once again, I'm clarifying that this is the first time in our World Cup qualification history that we are confronted with, or we've been confronted with such a scenario and a situation. And the question we're asking ourselves is there something we're repeating? Is there something we're just not getting right in this whole story that we've told between the year 2006 and now? And what do we need to do in terms of putting a permanent solution in place, or a permanent foundation in place, so that what we're building with this very big stage doesn't become doesn't become a problem. Thank you all very much for joining us. We get into the conversations here. Guests are seated, and of course we're going to go into the conversations, and as we always do, we love to hear from you as well, and that's the reason why you'd have to get through with your messages. It's 055-1111-997. Welcome to the Joy Sports Link.
Youth talent development, you also, or you are seeing what is happening to our national team. This cannot be Ghana. Dankwe, I lie. I know lie before. This cannot be Ghana. I was actually surprised when I heard that the coach was asked. Yes, there are some mistakes he made. Being myself a football coach, I mean, you can't explain why left 1 minute you are making substitution. When you've been a goal down for quite a long time, and when it was visible that the center was not holding because people were tired, and you had substitutes, you waited till the last minute. This is unpardonable. You only do that when you want to manage time and you are leading. When you are leading, you are winning. Then getting to the last minute, you manage time and use that to change and disorganize your opponents. So that by the time they get up, time is up, and then you win. Me, I played football before. When you have a short striker in front, the first measure is the speed of that striker as against the defenders. Then you know how to spin the balls and which direction to spin the ball for that striker to go and pick. What happened yesterday is not coaching. telling you. I know why I'm doing this. The money that KGL is spending and the money that some of us spend in football, we are very concerned about it. You saw our lone striker up front. One of the strikers, as you know, is our star now, playing in UK. But he's a utility player, so he goes back to win the ball, and he's to spin it. And the coaching will have to tell them where to spin the ball whilst he speeds up to the other corner. So that it's not about height. When you are spinning it, it's not about height because your striker is short. So it's to the other corner. And so he speeds there and he holds it for the one from the back to speed to the other end, and you cross over.
We saw this coming. The tournament we are going to attend is the World Cup. That's the biggest stage. Coaches who are coming to the World Cup are big coaches, and you can see what will happen there. So if your coach is not giving you good this thing, if there is a future, looking at the team, you see that there is a future. But this one, not at all.
Pamono, uso say.
Oh, yeah. Benefit on the babu on my no. Because when you have a team, no, every channel also na beconing and unti almost never bomb on the Mayan and the idea any problem be our
Well, as a concerned Ghanaian and as a supporter there, at this point in time, Ayana Yasake manage Ayana Ayede Matimuno, but it's still a wake-up call because we are telling the general public say you need break because your performances now of the team now it doesn't augur well. What you
Well, you heard some fans and the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin. He makes a very important point in all of that. He says, listen, I'm not just saying this, I have played football before. That just then explains his massive interest in the game and wanting to support initiatives like the Democracy Cup, which has now assumed an international dimension. So those are the views of the Right Honourable Speaker of the Republic of Ghana. We heard some of the fans as well. We know that you also have a lot of views to express on this matter. It's been a couple of days. You know, it's settled in a little bit. But what settles in is reality. The reality that we have a very big task ahead of us. While those others who have qualified are settling in, the likes of Congo who are basking in qualification after so many decades. Ghana, yeah, we've qualified before. We're going for a 5th appearance. Now we need to get a competent technical mind to lead the charge. And we have to mix all of this up with the expectations and all of that. In terms of expectations, well, I know that you are traveling. Traveling meaning that it's all done. There's a decision you've taken. Some of you put in the leave requests from last year. Some of you have added a few days, gone to your human resource department, added a few days. And there are those of you who also work 6 months and go on holidays for 6 months. We know you. No names mentioned, eh? And talk about that. Talk about traveling. Talk about being there at the World Cup and seeing everything for yourself. Feeling it on your skin in the stadium, having the massive experiences with all of the fans who gather from different parts of the world. Latina Travel and Tours has a lot to tell us, as we do make all of these plans and make sure that we have hassle-free travel. All right, so Anastasia Brokwa is the CEO of Latina Travel and Tours, and we've been having a lot of conversations around, travel plans and how we just have to make sure that it's very, very hassle-free. Later on this afternoon as well, we'll be having a conversation with Mr. Ernest Thompson. Mr. Ernest Thompson is is a past Director General of SNIT. He's also, in fact, in the books, one of the longest-serving board secretaries of Accra Hearts of Ghana's oldest existing football club, and also has served in various roles with committees under the Ghana Football Association. Has also done a lot in terms of setting up some of the regulations that now guide the game of football that we play. Kojo Addo-Mensah, CEO of Databank, and also a seasoned columnist and also an analyst and pundit. He's got loads and loads of views. He's one who follows the team around the world like some of you do, and he sees some of these players at close range, has interactions with them, and has a bird's eye view of everything that's happening. He'll be sharing his thoughts. But what's important here this afternoon is that you also join us with your thoughts at 055-1111-997. 055-1111-997. Let's begin with Tina and start talking about our travel plans, shall we? Tina, good to see you.
Nice meeting you.
Oh, look, I love these glasses, eh? I love the colors, eh? I'm sure you have a couple more in there.
You want one?
Oh, well, plain, without any,
Of course. I'll try and get you one.
Because, well, as fate would have it, I can read everything that's behind you on the screen, so at least
really?
I'm safe.
Okay.
I'm safe for now.
Absolutely.
So I just have to look for fancy ones and,
Yes.
maybe, match it with the color of my shirt.
That's
yeah?
right.
Yeah, good to see you. How's work been so far this week?
Yes, this week.
You've been busy.
This week I've been busy. I've been in and out of your studios.
Yeah, on television and all.
Yes, trying to get the general public try and encourage them to, if they are really set in their minds that they are going, that they should come and see us so that we can arrange their travel plans for them.
Very well. Let's talk about it. Look, people are. I have every other day. I have minimum of 2 phone calls. People, Nathaniel, I want a reliable partner that can just take care of all that burden, so that I just go and relax.
Yeah.
I pay my money and then I go. So walk us through what you've put together in terms of the packages.
Okay, so when one calls us in our office, or when one walks in, we tell you just bring your passport and then a deposit, and then you fill a registration form, and then right there with us we'll start filling your forms for you. We ask you the questions and then we go through, because filling the forms is a lot of stuff. But our package mainly, it's visa support, match tickets.
I like that bit about visa support. So it's visa support, not we're getting you the visa.
We don't guarantee visas.
Very well.
We don't have any contact. As a matter of fact, if you come to our office, the staff working there, they have not even sat in a plane before. They don't have. All we know is that look, you need to be able to satisfy this and that in terms of requirements. Yes, and then we move with that. So we don't promise that. We don't have any connections. We don't know anybody, and thankfully we've been successful so far with our visa applications for those who have come to us. So that said, so visa support, match tickets. As soon as Ghana we knew where we're going to play, immediately consulted with the GFA and we made some deposits towards our group because we wanted to do group travel. So we needed to support that. So we did that. So we have much tickets in stock. We have flight. We have been able to secure flight on Delta Airlines and loads on Emirates Airlines. We have transfers. We have tours. We are making sure that we are doing tours in every city. So if it's Toronto, we are doing 2 days tour in Toronto. If we are in Boston, we are doing half-day city tour. We are doing shopping. We have expo. Latina Travel and Tours is doing a Made in Ghana expo, and free entry. You are allowed, once you come with us, you come to the place without paying anything and enjoy the food and everything coming up there. And then we have travel insurance. We have been able to secure travel insurance with Vanguard and it's Phoenix Insurance, covering about $50,000 of claims should anything go wrong with your bags, cancellations, passport, anything that you can imagine. $50,000 coverage. So this is what we have as a package for the general public.
Amazing stuff there. This is also in tiers, right? Because we do also know that the ticketing is in tiers. There's various grades of tickets here.
So we for the tickets we secured so far, they are for the group stages. That's the 3 group stages that every team is playing before we move forward. If we move forward, you tell me, with a new coach, hopefully. If we move forward from the group stages, we are really ready to put logistics together to move people to the next host city or wherever it is. But for now, that's what we have. But let me add, we have been approached by many people who say, look, we have visas already. Most Ghanaians have US visas already.
Yeah, loads and loads of Ghanaians.
Loads and loads, more than the people who are applying for. So we say, look, some people say, we have family members, we don't need accommodation, we just need a flight and we need a visa, match tickets. I can tell you that if at this point you haven't purchased your plane ticket, you are talking about maybe around, if you want to do all 3 matches, fly into Toronto and come out of Boston, you are looking at roughly 3,500 Ghana cedis. $3,500. That's averagely. That's what you can get on United as we speak, if you haven't purchased the ticket. And this is why we are here today. If in as early as January, we were able to secure flights at half that price, and we asked you to come, please come. We want to save you money so that you use some to shop for the family. I know Ghanaians are last minute. People have purchased their tickets.
I haven't.
You haven't, right? Okay. So you go and check online and see what you see. And we have as many as 500 seats.
Wow.
So please come and see us and let's help you with your flight. Let's help you with the logistics. We are really match tickets. Yes, if you want, we still have some.
Amazing.
Yes.
Now, come and see us. Office locations and where can we get you online and all of that?
So we are in the Alisa Hotel, Northridge. We are inside the Alisa Hotel. You just come there, ask any of the security men to walk you into our office. You'll find us. And then you can call me also on 0244 260 789. 0244 260 789. And we'll sort you out.
Thank you so much, Tina. We're grateful to you. Wow. Ernestina Brocker is the CEO of Latina Travel and Tours. Amazing packages. There are so many. It sounds like it's quite a bit, but if you sit back and delay, wala.
Nat, can I say something?
Go ahead, bro.
Honestly speaking, if she says that the ticket price, this is the flying tickets, the airfare, is at what?
3,500 now.
This is in April.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm joking. I'm there.
You are relaxing.
I'm relaxing. I have this. I have match ticket. I'm cool.
Yeah. So you have to.
So I'm there. Tuesday I'll be there.
Please.
No, I'm always there anyway.
I know. I'll sort you out. Yes.
And this is Delta.
And see, June.
No, wait. So this is Delta.
Delta.
So I'm going into.
United.
We are going into what? New York, and then we
Boston.
connect.
Accra, New York, a couple of hours transit, and then you are in Boston.
Then Boston, we do internal travel to Philly.
Philly is the hotels are like that.
Cutthroat.
So we're doing
Hey,
a day.
what are you saying?
I'm telling you, you can't.
Me,
so we're
I'm
doing all our
Ghana, Croatia, or Philly. Oh, I'm cool.
Share.
Yeah, I'm serious.
So we are flying into Boston. We're staying all the way 9 days.
No,
in
our
Boston.
Ghanaians listening to this. This is even more important than. Let me tell you why this is important. Like she said, a lot of Ghanaians already have visas.
Yes.
So those of us who already have visas, we are sitting down, chilling, thinking, "Hey, Jobodo," but it from what she's saying, Charlie, it looks like we have to go and sort everything out. Oh.
I'm telling you.
Really?
It's bad.
And this is where this is where you wish
Really?
Monday were a working day, because this
Like
is
no, but Ghana, the Monday will be working day. On World Cup matter. I'm always at Litina. I will do.
Yeah.
No, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You need to sort
Yeah,
that because
and I'm glad that you've brought up this conversation. Look, I remember when I covered Isaac Dogbe versus Rubaisi Ramirez in Oklahoma. Okay,
Yeah.
This was in the month of April, a couple of years ago. Could you believe that in the city, Oklahoma City, this was done at the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel.
Hard Rock.
Every single hotel within a 1 mile radius of the place
is occupied.
was fully booked.
Yeah, it will be full.
Every hotel in a 1 mile radius. So if you wanted anything, you had to go outside of it, because that bout was the headline event of all of the events that were happening
For
there.
that weekend.
So you can imagine this one.
yes.
Litina,
And June is high. It's peak already.
yeah.
So people are already going on their
Without World Cup is
Without
peak.
World Cup is peak
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
So I'm just wondering how they are going to. They are going to. But you'll be shocked by June. A ticket will cost like $6,000, whereas that $6,000 can get you a business class ticket now.
Easily.
Yeah, but we are there. I mean,
Okay.
we anticipated.
We go over the numbers again, the contact numbers again. Yeah.
So our number is 0244 260 789.
Super.
Yes.
All right, we're going to be having a conversation with Tina later this week on television as well, on the Joy Prime channel in our sports segment. So if you missed this conversation, don't worry, we're going to bring it back again. But I hope you took note of the numbers and all of that. This is very, very important part. So today is World Cup concentrated. We're going to have this conversation. Glad that you've joined us for this one. But do remember that it sure is not an easy road. It's definitely a very, very tough one, and we've got work to do. Welcome once again to the Joy Sports Link.
I'm made to the corner when I make it. And that's where they make to take it. Sure. I'll be there for sure. Don't worry. I'm missing bam, 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 bam. It's not an easy road. How many see the glamour and the glitter, so them think I better rose. Me say, who feels it knows. Ooh, Lord, every sustain these blows. I cry. It's not an easy road. How many see the glamour and the glitter, so them think I better rose. Me say, who feels it knows. Ooh, Lord, every sustain.
Those of you who do know, you know that when in times like these, I like to play this particular song by Buju Banton. He says it's not an easy road. It is definitely not an easy road for all of us, and that just goes to sum up the look on Kujua Diamond's face. Mr. Ernest Thompson will join us virtually very soon, and then Fento Tahiru Fento, covered the two games for us here. And he was there, with the team. He was there. He picked up a lot of information from the inside of the camp. And we'll be taking it from his lens as well. Now we need to move forward. But how do we move forward? This is a bit of a niveau situation when it comes to preparing for the FIFA World Cup. Kojo?
Yeah. Nuts. Happy New Year.
Same to you, my big brother.
I don't think
we haven't sat this year, so it means that
I'm not sure I've been here this year.
Yeah.
I've been on the flip side, behind you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, those guys are
super.
Charlie, they've been pulling me like crazy, but it's all in the same family. So
Yeah, great.
It's all good. It's all good.
Well, so maybe you want to call it a wake-up call, and this wake-up call came when Ghana played against Austria. Before that, we had successfully launched, a FIFA World Cup raffle and a fundraising event where we realized some millions of dollars, which was very, very encouraging.
Yeah.
And then we had some very, very encouraging, words as well from the president of the FA saying, "We fear no foe." These were his words. Fast forward, we go into this game and we're walloped 5-1.
Yeah. So, Nat, I'm not surprised at the outcome. I'm actually even, maybe I should dare say, not surprised at the result. When you look at the data and you look at the records, Otto has not done well at all with friendlies. If you look at the data, his friendlies, the data on his friendlies or the record of his friendlies has been appalling, has been shambolic, and has been very poor. Check his friendlies. I don't even think we won any friendly in the last 5. We didn't win. AFCON qualifiers, another shambolic record. So the only positive, and I think that is what kept Otto going, it kept him going, was our World Cup qualifiers. He had a near flawless World Cup qualifying record. I think that was 6 games, 5 wins, 1 draw. So even though it's disappointing, I'm not surprised that the FA had to take this decision. I think it was a decision in the right direction. People talk about timing. I don't think the timing was wrong. I think the timing was as it is. If it had happened earlier, we would all have been wondering, what if. Right now, the timing of the decision has eliminated any what if. I see my senior NS watching us and listening to me now. But it has eliminated any what if. There's no what if. What if Otto had been kept? What if he had done this? What if? There's no what if. The data, the records, everything is clear that the decision was right. Look, Cote d'Ivoire sacked their coach right in the middle of the tournament. The Moroccan coach we are touting. When did he take over the team before Qatar? Yeah, that was in August or so, August or September. The tournament was in December. So it can work. I don't think the timing is wrong. I think the timing is okay. There's enough time to take a decision and pick the right person at the right price. I don't know how much time we have. If we have time, I'll say it again. Ghanaians seem to always forget that in taking a decision on who handles the national team, there's always a monetary issue to be considered. Always. We say, oh, NLA Sani work a top notch coach aba. NLA Sani work a mokone fade down. We do it. We do it not. We do it all the time, and we are doing it now. But we always conveniently try to forget that whoever we are going to consider will come at a certain price. Are we prepared to pay that price? And you know what? When we decide and the price is high, I will plead, at least for the next 4 months, that the dialysis squad, pause. Do you know who I call the dialysis squad?
Tell me about them.
The moment we say we have picked Ernest Thompson as the next Black Stars coach, we have picked Nathaniel Attoh as the next Black Stars coach, he's going to command $150,000 a month. Hey, $150. Ewa shikane. Ni ni te kolebu ake dialysis machine be. Ni what 37 ake MRI scan be. Ni what that is what we do. Do you know that's what we do, Nat? We fail to realize that to get a coach of the caliber that we are seeking requires money. But we will not accept it. We want to take a coach of X amount low and deliver high. Maurice Kwanzaa's analogy. You walk into a Lamborghini showroom with Tico money. Will you drive out with a Lamborghini?
No.
Will you drive out with a Lamborghini you want? But you want a Lamborghini. So it's cool. I mean, we are where we are. But let's acknowledge that to get the kind of caliber of coach that we require, it will require resources, money, and backing. But it doesn't guarantee that if you hire such a coach, you will be successful anyway. There's no guarantee either. Let's note that. There is no guarantee either. But the chances are higher, right? The chances are higher. So it's fine. I mean, Otto is gone. I have no issue with that. I actually, in some way, I'm happy for him because, look, imagine Otto was standing on the bench with Hurricane there banging in the goals. That would have been a disaster. So we have an opportunity to reset, rethink, and reappoint. And I think it's a good thing that has happened. At least he qualified us to the World Cup. We are there. There's time. There's no game even between now and is it May or June when we play Wales and probably Mexico. Let's take this time to hire the right person.
Well, let's also get the opening thoughts of Mr. Ernest Thompson. Now, before that, you were a member of the team that
I knew that was coming.
You were a member of the team that
recommended. Use the right adjectives.
Yeah, I was coming to that. Yeah. Yes. So you recommended
yes,
Otto Addo be.
Yes, we did. So we were 5.
There were 5.
I'm the only one who's been interviewed post that.
Well, that's fine. You still are a member. In this particular scenario, have the 5 been recalled to come and play the same role?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And if I'm called again to be part of any decision making, I think I'll respectfully decline. I've done my part. I've done my part. I've done my service.
Is it?
I mean,
is it? Because
will you call Ernest to come back to Hearts board secretary?
Okay, I get where you're. I get what you're
exactly.
saying. Yeah.
So I've done my part.
He's done his bit.
Yeah, I've done my bit.
You've done your bit.
So yeah, we move on.
I mean, the little thing I wanted to just ask was, has it also got something to do with the fact that this suggestion did not work out?
Oh, I mean, look, in a corporate organization, I don't think the head of your HR has had every hiring correct in this organization. I doubt it. And the fact that they didn't have 1 or 2 hirings correct doesn't mean that they walk away. They will learn from that, and then they will make sure that they improve in the following hiring. So the fact that you didn't get a hiring right doesn't mean that going forward all other hirings will be wrong. And by the way, let me insist and repeat, it was a recommendation. The final decision rested with the ESCO. Let's not forget that.
And they did. They went ahead with your
but they are there, and they are still there, and they will be there till the next election.
Well, reason why I'm asking a few more questions is also that
fine.
you are pushing very hard that investment is the way to go.
You have to invest.
Okay, was that part of the considerations that were
course,
made?
Absolutely. The director for the ministry was part of the committee of the 5.
Does it then mean that you were given a certain
we were not given
spending threshold?
No, not at the time of the interviewing, but we needed to acknowledge that spending was part of the consideration,
even though you had not been told
the figure
directly that listen, you have to look for a coach who will cost us between this this amount.
We were not
amount.
told that I can tell you that we were not told that, but
very well.
But still you would need to consider what has been paid in the past and what the country can reasonably afford. You have to be reasonable in these things, Nat.
Okay.
You've got to be reasonable.
Okay, that was then. This analysis was for then.
Yes, now we're in a different scenario.
Okay,
I think we're in a situation where Ghanaians may understand more if more is paid. How much was Otto on? 50?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Kwesi was on what? 30? Something like that. Kwesi was on, I think, 30. Otto 50. The next, if we push it to 100, 120.
CK Akuno had to go on the Ghana CD, because of
maybe Ghanaians will start understanding a bit more. But, Charlie, you see, we conveniently forget this exigencies of a time. We conveniently forget. And I keep going back to the dialysis committee, associate, because you know what? It's life and death there. How much does it cost to buy one dialysis machine to save 5 lives? You say X. Then you hear that they didn't buy that machine, but they've spent that amount of money on the Black Stars, who didn't win anything. Do you know the emotion that pushes?
Okay.
We are in a situation where Ghanaians must understand and decide what it is we really want.
Okay. Mr. Ernest Thompson has also joined us, and he is one who's walked a very long path in the game of football, at club football level, at the administrative level, and has contributed adequately to putting some of the foundations in place for our Ghana FA. When it comes to the Black Stars, he's also served at the level of management committee as well, and understands all of these processes, at the snap of a finger. Tairo Fentu will also be joining us shortly with his thoughts as well. He was there in Europe to cover these 2 games for us, and he will bring us the perspective from close range. Mr. Thompson, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. And I think you can see me too. Oh.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, a good afternoon to you and your panelists and all your viewers and listeners. Hello.
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
You didn't ask any question. You only asked whether I can hear you.
Yes. We're getting some feedback in the background. I don't know whether you have a device that you're monitoring with. Can you lower the volume on that device, please? All right. So I was just asking about, what has happened in the past 2 weeks and what it has brought you, considering the kind of experience you have and knowing what goes on in the background when it comes to taking of such decisions of appointing coaches and getting them, to work for major projects such as these.
Basically, I'm not surprised at the turn of events. You remember that you had interviewed me once already on Coach Addo, and I made a point that I don't think that he might be able to lead us to the World Cup. That was some few months back. Right. Everybody is promoted to his level of competency. Right. And I think he got to where he had to get to. Maybe it's I won't say sacking, but his change should be a wake-up call for us. And then let's look at the way forward. I don't believe in the blame game. I'm not going to point hands at people at the fear and the rest, because I know it's a very difficult job. And I know the circumstances under which such decisions are at times taken. Right. So, but I don't want to dwell much on that. I want to dwell on the way forward. And I think the way forward is what the decision they've taken. Come to think about it, there was a risky situation we found ourselves in. Either you stay with him, he plays the next few matches. If it doesn't go well, it's too late to change. So whatever it is, you just have to change now. Right. And then move ahead from there. Now, and I think that's what they have decided.
Now,
the other side of the coin, would rather be the process to use to appoint a new coach. I know as at this morning, no new coach has been appointed. I've had discussions with some few people at the top there in the FA. I've asked yesterday night, and they said they are still engaging beyond the issues. For me, what is important to me is a process we are going to use to appoint the coach. It's extremely important. We should open up.
Yeah, Mr. Thompson, before you continue, kindly move backwards slightly so that our viewers can also see you fully. The headroom is, there we go. We're great. Yeah, this is it.
Right.
Yes.
I think that what is important is a process to use. Right. For me, based on my discussions with some of them at the FA, my advice as I yesterday was that they should open up. Right. They shouldn't go and meet only as a few ex-members and take a decision. We've done that before. I mean, when I was on the FA, Jawola, then Kofi time, what we did was that we just managed to bring some few sports personalities to the meeting. We discussed everything with them. We opened up everything. They saw the CVs and they assisted us in making a decision. right? But the final decision will be taken by the FA. But you need an input from, some real experienced people in sports. The Sports Writers Association, their heads. I remember during that time, we even invited some high-level sports writers to the meeting. And then we took a decision. You need ownership. And when you take that decision at the FA level, you clear with the minister. You find out whether you want to talk to the minister would like to clear with cabinet and the president. And then when you have ownership, you just move on. But it doesn't take time. Once you set the process in motion, you should be able to finish very quickly. Right? It's a crisis management, so you adopt a crisis management approach. You just speed up the process. So for me, the procedure is extremely important. The second thing is that you have to decide how long you want to appoint the coach for, because there are legal issues and contractual issues on it. I handled a lot of the agreements from the beginning because I was chairing the legal committee. Right. For me, they should just appoint a coach up to the end of the World Cup and then do a quick review thereafter. That will be my position. The other thing is that sports, however defined, involves finance. All right. In fact, if we hadn't invested in, let's say, the boxing arena, we wouldn't have seen boxing coming up again. Athletics, we don't really have the tracks. The investment is not there. With the national team, the Blasters, this is a real awakening call, right? To decide how much you really want to invest in the technical side of the team for the next few months. Let's say between now and the end of the World Cup. A short contract, they'll come under a lot of pressure because the agents bringing their coaches and the rest will be looking for a long contract. But they should put their foot down, in my opinion, to sign a very short contract up to the end of the World Cup. Then they'll reassess a lot of things. In a crisis management situation, I wouldn't go for a long contract for now. Because if you go for a long contract and it happens that, and coaching is funny, right? Anything can happen in coaching. And it happens that the coach is not able to really make it. Then, of course, we are going to have another problem. The problem of paying for the unexpired period if you terminate. So I would advise for a short-term contract. But having said that, let me also add one thing. The responsibility is on all of us. So we should put in as much money as we can put in to get the best of coaches for the next few months. And the FA itself should be held to a certain standard. That having now agreed on this is what we want to do and this is the money we want to put in, right? The FA itself should set up some KPIs as to what they want to achieve by the end of the World Cup. It's not going to be easy because of the nature of the team itself now. If you watch the Austrian game and you watch the Germany game, you realize that the team is not up to that level physically. And that is obvious because you agree with me that a lot of them have not been playing and therefore they were not much fit. Partey has not been playing, Sibu has not been playing, Joko is playing somewhere, of course, but you can see that Semi was a little bit above of them because he's been playing. So in all these two climates, the team was not physically fit. Rather unfortunately, we have to play Austria, which virtually has beaten almost all the leading countries of late. And then a few days, Germany, which is a star student team, place who have been playing regularly. So for me, the team is not up to that level. But if you can get that coach, that caliber of coach, with his strong backup team, video analysts, his sellers, and they can look at the matches which have been played, they know what to do, how to push the boys to get to that physical level. Because World Cup, physicality is extremely important. You have to be physically fit. And the modern football too, you are right. You see how goals have been scored. From throw-ins, dead ball situations, corner kick, a lot of physicality is involved now. And then when they get their physicals right, I believe the form will really come up because the class is already there, right? But as I know, the team has gone quite low. But you need a coach who can bring them up immediately. Right.
Amazing. Mr. Ernest Thompson with his opening thoughts there. Let's take the thoughts of Fento, Tahir Fento. Fento was there. He broke the news to us about the relieving of position of Otto Addo, and, took us through every single moment in terms of all the major highlights for these two games. Now we're at this particular point. But, Fent, I want you to tell me, what generally you noticed about the Black Stars team you followed in Europe over these two major international assignments that have brought us to this point?
Well, Matt, it's very interesting because I watching the two games, especially the first game against Austria, the body language of the players, the coach, you could just tell that there was a massive lack of self-belief. Either the lack of belief was in the coach's ideas or in the players themselves and their ability to perform at the biggest stage, or whether it's the FA themselves who had lost a certain belief in the coach, or the players had lost a certain belief in the ability of the coach. But a lot was lost in that game, other than just the result alone. And, you could just tell that Otto Addo was a walking dead man. And as I said, and as I've said in many reports, the decision to sack Otto was taken right after the Austria game. And it really didn't matter what the result was in the Germany game. He was a man. He was a goner. He was always going to go. And when you look at, his last supporter, which is Keto Kreku, even he gave up after the Austria match. And it's worth pointing out that, after the World Cup, after the AFCON qualifiers, when he failed to qualify, there were several members of the FA that wanted Otto Addo sacked. So Kreku was the leading voice in maintaining Otto Addo. And there's a reason he wanted that. Because he wanted a certain level of stability, akin to what Senegal gave Aliou Cisse before he eventually delivered success, which I understood because he was also very mindful of his legacy, because before Otto Addo's second coming, they had gone through 5 different coaches, with Otto Addo himself included for a short stint in that 2022. So he wanted to stick to Otto Addo to see what he could do the long term. And the World Cup qualification was some sort of justification for his decision, if you like. It was redemption, really, that he was able to deliver World Cup qualification ultimately. But I think the World Cup qualification was taken and looked at in isolation, because they made a lot of appointments in the backroom stuff to try and help deliver that World Cup qualification. They brought in a psychology, a set-piece coach. We scored like 7 set pieces in that World Cup run. And you could tell that the results was at the time was that Otto had also become a changed man. He listened less, and he made decisions without consultation. And a lot of them, it appeared, it got to a certain point where the FA's idea of where they wanted the national team to go and where Otto wanted the national team to go, there was a massive variance. And that really brought a lot of frustration amongst the two parties, because Otto felt that he wasn't being listened to, and the FA also felt they weren't being listened to. Now, I'll give you an example to illustrate what I'm talking about. You remember after the Austria game, I was on the post-match press conference when I asked Otto Addo why he continued to use Caleb Yenchi at right back, when it's obvious that the kid will thrive at midfield, where Ghana lacks a lot of depth. Because in fact, when he named the squad for the 2 friendly matches, he named 4 midfielders that were of the same profile. Thomas Partey, Ibrahim Sulemana, Kwesi Zibo, the same profile of midfielders, no creativity in the middle, no dribbler, no ball carrier, all of them breaking passes. Thomas is old, his legs are gone, so he's no longer that box-to-box midfielder that he will kind of do. Is not a kind of player as well. And then Elisha, also the other one, also a defensive midfielder. So, and these were the only midfielders that Otto Addo named in the squad. So you look at those midfielders, and there's zero creativity in that midfield. And Ghana in the past has always thrived on box-to-box midfielders, aligning well with creative midfielders, and then obviously destroyers. Otto's team didn't have any of that. You also notice that Otto said that, and that is so, that meant that it's a place where a player like Caleb Bianchi could thrive. Now, that's why people were frustrated that Caleb was continued to be deployed at right back. Now, another player that could have done well there is Augustin Boachi, who was doing really well on the French League too. He's never been called by Otto Addo, and he was to that midfield lack of creativity issue. Now, Caleb was the other option. But Otto explained after the Austria game that they didn't have a lot of option right back, and that's why Caleb Bianchi will continue to play a right back. Now, when he called the squad, I think everybody recognized that there wasn't a right back. So Otto, the FA, they did everything possible to make sure that they got a right back available, placed in the French League top level, who has two more Ghanaian playing there. Elisha Owusu and Gideon Mensah already play there. So they called him Marvin Sanaya. Bear in mind that when they called him, he was also called by Togo. Now, we don't have a right back. Otto said that much. Now, in the game against Austria, the kid was available. You called him. The kid turned down Togo to play for Ghana. Now, you come up against Austria. It's a friendly game where all of your Arsenal need to be tested. New players need their chance to prove whether or not they can lock down position. What does Otto do? Otto benches him. He doesn't play him, and he goes on and he plays Caleb Bianchi a right back again. The midfield lacked depth, and Caleb Bianchi, bear in mind, is also not a right back, so he didn't do a good job. He was at fault for at least two of the goals that we considered against Austria. And his skill set, it's better served in the middle of the park. So not only does he deny the kid the best possible scenario in which he could perform for Ghana, and also right back who turned down another country to come and play for Ghana by putting him on the bench to create situations where Harry is left exposed, the right back position isn't solved, and the right back that will come and play and test his mettle, who turned down another country to come to Ghana, was also not happy because he was never trusted from the beginning. In the Germany game, in fact, I brought him on to play like 10 minutes. In the Germany game, he didn't even work. I spoke to the kid, and you could just tell his frustration that he wasn't happy. And this is a coach that admitted that we had issues at right back because Tariq Lamptey is injured. Ali Bissedu hasn't been the same. You finally get one. What should you do? You should play him right from the start, and let's see whether he can do a job or not. And then you gain Caleb Bianchi in midfield, who can help bring a certain creativity and box-to-box ability into the middle of the park. We don't get any of those things in this friendly match. And then we lose by 5-1. So after that game, the frustration wasn't just with the FA or the ministry or the authorities. It was also with the players themselves who felt that was for him to have done something could benefit him to do that. So you see, in that instance, he did not help himself at all. And that's why I said, right after that game, the decision was already taken to get rid of Otto Addo. So you can tell that while the FA wanted and were desperate to maintain Otto Addo and backed him, went to all extents to back him. In fact, Otto Addo is probably the most backed glass-house coach we've had, maybe since, I don't know, Kwesi Appiah's first tenure, maybe. And yet it got to a point where it just seemed like employer and employee, the objectives just didn't align in the way and direction in which they wanted the team to go. So the decision to start had nothing to do with, in my opinion, what could potentially happen at the World Cup. And that's what leads where I respectfully disagree slightly with Senior Ernest Thompson when he says we should look for a stopgap measure, because whoever we bring as national team coach cannot just be giving a one-time task as going to the World Cup. What would be the objective that we're giving going to the World Cup? Certainly, you say he should get out of the group. Okay, if he doesn't get out of the group, you can't really blame him, because how much time did he have with the team? You understand? So we have to consider it that any sort of performance that we have at the World Cup will be considered a bonus. It doesn't matter who comes in charge. So, and with the AFCON next year and another one the year after that, I think we need a new coach to start and hit the ground running immediately. I don't think if we bring in the stopgap coach, goes to the World Cup, after that we sack him or we get rid of him, we say thank you very much or whatever, give him a big payout. We're bringing another coach to now start building for the AFCON qualifiers. And then AFCON next year and the year after that, another AFCON. I don't think that, for me, I don't think that would be a prudent or use of resources or a really sustainable way of our national team for continuous and sustainable success. Now, the other thing I would say is this, that let's be honest here. The constant chopping and changing of the coaches, we can blame the FA and say that their hiring track record hasn't been good. And I had, of course, the Senior Attoh also talking about the fact that because they've got it wrong in the past doesn't mean they'll get it wrong in the future as well. That is true, but we also have to say that there must be an underlying reason why all these coaches, local, international, have all failed. Not one of those. In fact, a coach with the highest win rate since Keith came into power, it's CK Akona with 40%. All the rest of the coaches have been below 40% success rate. That is abysmal for a national team like Ghana. So you ask yourself, and we've had a Serbian in charge, we've had Otto Addo, we had CK Akona, we had Chris Hughton, an English coach with Premier League experience. All of them have failed drastically. So why is that? What is the underlying issue? And none of them have been able to even play any sort of cohesive style of football. The one that we are used to, the one that we've boasted about in the past. And the reason for me, what I have figured is the reason, is this. I think fundamentally, systematically, our football, we have a massive problem. And if we don't fix those systematic issues, it doesn't matter which coach we bring, we are not going to succeed. And the fundamental issues are one, youth development. We know that historically, every national team, especially on the continent of Africa, success comes when you've consistently transitioned youth players from the under-20s, under-23s, under-17s into the national team. Because that's how you build cohesion. What we are doing now is trying to select our way into cohesion. A national team cannot succeed without cohesion, without chemistry. Now we're selecting players from all around the world and we think that they must succeed. We cannot build like that. We need to build that consistency from youth level. Let them be teammates. At any given time, in our most recent successful national teams, you will have at least 5, 6, 7 members of the national team, the Black Stars, having been teammates at youth level. The current squad, there is not one or 2 players that are teammates from youth level. In fact, we only have 3 players who have played for our youth teams in our national team. Matizigi was part of the 2015 under-20 team. Kudus Mohammed, 2017 under-17 team. You have Isahaku, 2021 under-20 team. Now, that's 3 youth players that are part of our national team. Only 3, and that's an abysmal number to begin with. But you know what makes it worse? All 3 of them were never teammates at any level, at any youth team. They all came from different youth systems. So even that, there's no chemistry, 0 friendship. You understand? And 0 commitment. And when the players don't feel like the national team and the country contributed to their development, you call them from all around the world. This is what you get. The chemistry is missing, the cohesion is missing. It doesn't matter what coach you bring, you will fail. And listen, I know that there are people that have come with counter-argument to say, what about Morocco? They got all these players from Spain and all these players from abroad, none of them born in Ghana. DR Congo, same. Let me tell you, the difference between them and us is this, that for Morocco, even though they get players from all around these countries in Spain, and they start them out young at youth level. Morocco are AFCON under-17 champions. They are World under-20 champions. Let me give you an example. Out of the 21-man squad that won the under-17 AFCON last year, Morocco, 11 of them were born abroad. This is at under-17 level. The under-20 team that are world champions at the moment also won the World Cup last year. 12 members of that team were born abroad. When you look at our national team, we play under-17, under-20. How many of those players that we have now in the Black Stars team did we call to our under-20s to start and build from scratch and build from the beginning? Zero. So we don't start them out early, right? We just call them straight into the national. Look, Kennedy is a 20-year-old. He's never played for any of our youth.
Interesting thoughts. Now, just before you wrap up the points here,
quick one. Fentio, quick one. I totally agree with you. I've made this point on other platforms about the fact that the Moroccans are picking their youth footballers because times have changed. They are picking their youth footballers right at the under-17, under-20, so that they get into the Moroccan culture even before they become adults. So they are picking them from Spain, from Portugal, from France, even before. But the issue is, and this one, permit me to sit on the other side of the fence. The parents of our players are preventing them from accepting to play for the Ghanaian youth team. How do we go around that? So, because, you know what? CK started chasing Hudson Odoi and Nketiah. It was CK who started chasing them. Their parents refused. And I would like to hear the views of Ernest as well. Look, we identified these players at under 16, 17, 18, but they are already being selected the English youth teams. And the parents are saying, hell no, you're not going to Ghana.
Foreigners playing for the national team. Not the difference is that those players willingly come and join those national teams. They reach out to people. They want to play for those national teams. What is our case? We are the ones chasing. The players don't want to come. Even players born and raised here, like Salisu, he didn't want to come. We have to chase him.
So is it a football matter or is it an economy matter?
Well, it's a combination of both. So that brings me to my last point. And my last point is this. The policy, at the heart of all of this is policy. I think that's the point you are trying to make, right?
Yes.
And I agree 100%. At the heart of our problem is policy. Let me give you an example. Why is it? We just created a sports fund. We launched it 2 months ago. That sports fund is supposed to be the foundation and the bedrock of sports development in Ghana. Did we hold a fundraiser to raise money for the sports fund? No, we had ministers donating a man's salary, 10,000, or 2 months' salary, 15,000 into the sports fund. But when the Black Stars qualified for the World Cup, we had a whole fundraiser to raise $30 million to send supporters to the World Cup. We have forgotten that the only reason we are going to the World Cup is because we had a national team that qualified for the World Cup. But we don't care about how the talent that comes into the national team is developed. We only care about the end product. Consumer economy, not a production economy. That's our problem. So to answer your question, that's the problem. It's an economy problem. It's a policy problem. Look, let me ask. So how much did we hold a fundraiser to get money into the sports fund that could go into benefiting all sports development in this country? How much money have we raised for school sports in Ghana? How much money have we raised for grassroots sports development in Ghana? But we're raising 30 million to send supporters to the World Cup. We have our priorities right. And I'm not against sending supporters to the World Cup. But when we have other fundamental issues, we should see where most of the money should go. Any sensible economy, any sensible society knows that it starts with development. If the talent isn't developed, you don't start from the top. So only what we know is wait when there's an opportunity to go to the World Cup, then we go and put together all this rambunctious event and raise all this money. We are going to the World Cup. We are sending supporters. We have earmarked, listen to this, Mr. Ade. We have earmarked $9,000 to spend on each supporter going to the World Cup. Just yesterday, the Sport Minister saw of 4 athletes or so from inter-schools to go to Kenya for a camping. The Africa Youth Athlete Development Program. You know how much each of those athletes was given? $500, but you have earmarked 9,000 to spend on each supporter going to the World Cup. Where are our priorities? Are you serious? We in fact we start in this country and cut down player bonuses for playing at the World Cup qualification from 10,000 to 5,000. We cut it short. Even that one, we were paying half of the money, and then when they qualify, we pay the other half. And we have earmarked 9,000 to spend on each supporter. When the players say pay us 10,000, you say no. So where are our priorities? Are you getting my frustration? Are you getting my line of thought here? Because we need to get look. We need to get back. When we look at all the World Cups we played, the last World Cup, for example, we got 10.5 million from the World Cup. We gave 2.8 million of that to the FA to go and construct or to go and use to develop Pram. But that is inadequate. All of that money should go into because as it stands now, Black Stars still come. They stay at Alisa Hotel, ramping up bills. The ministry is paying bills. The last time we took the money from Qatar 2022, the 10.8 million. We took 5 million of that money to go back and spend all of it at the World Cup in Cote d'Ivoire the next year. And then we gave 2.8 million to the FA to go and use to develop Pram. 2.8 million. What can they do at Pram? The government needs to take an active interest. For me, that's my view, that the government needs to take a massive active interest in sports development and invest and take control. Because if we leave everything to the FA, we are not going to go anywhere. The FA has no money. The money they have is inadequate. You look at how much money the Moroccans and the Senegalese are spending on their national teams and youth development and all these football ecosystem. And it's not the FA alone. The FA alone can't do that job. The FA alone cannot do that job. We have failed miserably as a country. We have our priorities upside down. And that's why I believe it doesn't matter the coach we bring. As we've seen from the evidence, we will keep failing. We will keep failing. Look, there is a short-term solution. Obviously, yes, we need to get a coach, and I agree with Mr. Thompson on the processes and making sure we get someone that can at least come in and do a job and stabilize the ship, and everything. So those things have to be done, yes, but we have to, as a country, we really need a serious rethink with the way our approach to sports development. And I'm not just talking football, because this whole football thing, it's part of the reason
is a whole 360 thing.
We have a whole national team and not 2 players from that national team as we speak have ever been teammates at youth level. That's a big deal. How is that possible? Not at under 23, not under 21, not under 17, not two players in this current squad have been teammates before.
So it becomes rocket science to establish telepathy on the pitch at any time.
Exactly. Matt, how can you tell me that? And we all know that the basis for a lot of our success, a recent success especially, has been built on that sort of telepathy of players being together, being teammates, from some of them from as far back as secondary school, like the Asian squad. They started from Oga school. That's your old school, right? You know this story. So by the time they got to Black Stars in 2006, these guys have spent like 14, 15 years together. Our current national team, none of the first time they see each other is when they go to Black Stars. So it doesn't matter the coach.
Very well. Okay, Fent, there are other things calling your attention, same as Mr. Thompson and yourself. We'll be wrapping up in the next 20-25 minutes. But let me go to Mr. Thompson and let's start moving the conversation forward, because as we speak now, everybody is doing, just waiting to hear the announcement. Now, some of the media outlets have done a lot of speculation. Some people have come to deny. I remember Joachim Löw, the World Cup winning coach of Germany. His name was mentioned, and he's put out a message to say that he's not been contacted by the Ghana FA, so he is out of the picture. Well, there are loads of applications. I'm told 600 of them, 600 plus, but this is where we have to start employing certain convenient tactics and cost-effective tactics to get us a solution as quickly as we can. Mr. Thompson, obviously we are at a time where we need to do headhunting and nothing else. Yeah, kindly unmute. Yes.
So, it's okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me, please?
Yeah. I can hear you. Sure.
Okay, I mean, tell Fatu and the rest that they shouldn't get BPO. We need all of them alive. Right. Of course, the developmental stage of process of football or sports in this country has been problematic now for some time, and there's an area we need to look at it. I think setting up the sports fund is in the right direction, however linked it is. You spoke about the sports fund. I think the fundraising could not be done because at the same time, in terms of priority, the emphasis went to the preparation for the World Cup. The government voted about 19 million, but it's not enough if supporters will be sent. So I realized that the strategy was to first concentrate on the World Cup, and whatever is raised, a portion will now move into the sports fund. That's what the briefing I had. I'm a member of the sports fund, and I chair the finance committee now. And of course, bear in mind too that at the time the law was passed, the budget had been read already. So although in the law, there's supposed to be a fund from the Ministry of Finance, the engagement of the Ministry of Finance shows that at the next budget review, they will give some money for the fund, right? I think a little bit of a planning issue, but I believe that it's better than, the fund has been set up, they've started working. They are even trying to set up their offices, get the staff and the rest. But let's come to the main issue facing us now. Let me clarify something. I think we all agree that we need to go for a high-level coach. I don't believe that because of the developmental issues, a coach cannot make a difference. Coaches do make differences in a team, right? So we can still do it, right? Let's not lose hope. What I was saying was, if I were on the FA, right, I'll take a coach up to the World Cup. Maybe with an option to renew, depending on performance after the World Cup, because coaching is a very funny job. Nobody knew that Klinsmann would take the US team to that level. Nobody knew that company can manage Bayern and the rest. So coaching is a very funny job. But if we take a coach and sign the contract up to the World Cup, with maybe an option to renew depending on performance, I would prefer that, because if you go and sign a long-term contract and anything happens, as you said, the team itself is now being brought up. Right? If anything happens and they don't perform well, and let's say you sign a 5-year contract and you terminate the coach again, you still have to pay a lot of damages. So tactically, that's why I said that let's take a coach which will take us to the end of the World Cup. We can put an option to renew the contract depending on performance at the end of the World Cup. So I think I wanted to explain that position of mine. But having said that, I don't want us to dwell too much on what has gone wrong. Right, let's look at the way forward now. We don't have the luxury of time, and I think they are working on it. I have engaged some people at the FA yesterday and this morning. They are still engaging. They have not appointed anybody yet. That's what I want to say at this stage.
Kojo, this is a tough one indeed. How eager are you to hear the announcement? Because there's work to be done.
Yeah.
There's some settling in to be done. There's a very high likelihood as well that we're going to see some switching and rehashing of and resetting. That's the word now. Of the backroom staff as well, because
no clear indications there. I'm not very eager, to be honest. I am very calm. I think I would want to believe that I know some of the machinations that go on in the background. So I'm not eager. I'm not in a hurry. After all, when is our next game? Our next game It's probably against Wales or Mexico sometime late May, early June. So there's really no rush. Whoever is being considered by now has been following the team for a while. Would have even if you appoint somebody today, the only thing the person will have is videos and data and checking. So look, it's not a giddy matter. I totally agree with my senior Ernest. I've said it many times that this one is a World Cup project. We need to vote an amount of money to say, look here, Mr. Coach coming in, World Cup project, $500,000 or X amount of money. This is it. Do it, execute. When we are done, depending on the performance, we decide whether we sit with this same individual to discuss a longer term contract, or then we take our time to look for a longer term contract. There's no doubt Kurt and Co had a long-term view of Otto. There was a view of giving whoever the coach was appointed then, being Otto, some decent time, 3, 5, 6 years. You know, the whole Aliou Cisse example was really strong, but it hasn't happened that way. So we are where we are. I think it's important that we focus on the World Cup. I think it's important that Ghanaians give the government and the FA the leeway and the latitude to be able to hire somebody at whatever decent price that it requires, but it should be a short-term contract. This is not the time to appoint somebody, 3-5 year. No, this is a 3 to 4 month project. We are April, May, June, and then if we go into the round of 32, July, okay? If we qualify for the round of 32, then it means the contract extends into July. So it's a 4-month contract. I will recommend $500,000, 4 months, done. Let's not talk about, how much is it in terms of per month? No, that's not what. It's a package. We do it. And that would be my recommendation. But eager is not giddy. Look, let's take our time and get the right stopgap coach. The right one. We don't have a game tomorrow. We don't have a game in 3 weeks. It's unlike Otto's time. In Otto's time, we had a game in a month or so. At the time we were doing the consideration, there was a game right there. We don't have that situation. Our next competitive game is in June. Before that, we have two friendlies. Even of the 2 friendlies, I think none of them are in a FIFA window. So one of them is when the leagues have broken, and the other is not a FIFA window. So there's no urgent game giddy like that. Let's take our time and get a proper stopgap coach, a proper coach who will be worth the amount of money that we're going to spend.
Well, we're still here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. It's time to do some of your messages. Glad that you are in and you're on with us. It's 055-11-11997. Remember, we're also streaming live on YouTube as well. Now, this message is coming from Morris Bacha Udonko in Sakumono. Morris Bacha Udonko in Sakumono. He says, we talk too much. Look at us now. What did Otto Addo do? Bring the best to handle the Black Stars. We will still talk. We tire you people. Okay, you can't get tired, Morris. So you sure can't get tired. It's a continuous process. All right, let me do this one as well. Lawyer Ernest Thompson has said it all. The physicality of the Black Stars is very, very key. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Inko Joseph. He's a regular listener to the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Inko. Okay.
All right. Now, from Dr. Fish in Sacramento. Good afternoon, Nat and crew. Happy Easter to the whole multimedia group. So this is the message. He says, please, I have a major concern when it comes to sacking Black Stars coaches and compensation payments given to them. In a country where we can't afford for a single stadium that can host international matches, but are prepared to pay a gargantuan $500,000, according to our reporters, to Otto Addo alone, minus backroom staff, is an absurd decision in hiring him in the first place. Otto, we all did know, did not meet any criteria of the FA that was spelt out during the search of the coach. Therefore, the FA's EXCO members must do well and pay for Otto Addo's compensation packages with taxpayers' money. Okay, Dr. Fisher Sakaman. Well, one of the members who made a recommendation is here and we'll just ask him to address your allegation about not meeting any of the criteria that was set. Okay. With 35 plus million brains, no Ghanaian can coach. Then we might as well conclude that no Ghanaian is equally competent to be the president. Simple. All puns intended. The Ghana FA hierarchy, including the GFA, must equally go. This can be a catalyst for positive impact. Shem Mixon Yeboah. Okay, Shem, thanks for your message. There's another one here. This is another lengthy one. Coach Addo's sacking shouldn't be a matter for discussion at all because his second coming was an error. Known by everyone who really understands the game of football, apart from our football people who had other interests. How logical can you expect using the same material for the method to overturn a failure overnight? No matter who we appoint, we must not expect magic from the stars at the World Cup. What we need to know now is that, seriously, we need to have a medium to long-term plan for the Black Stars, but all of our national teams as well. And this can only be realistically done by resetting our whole football setup from the GFA. The technical teams of all our national teams as well as their playing bodies. Prosper from Dakuman sent that one. Okay, thank you very much. 055 11 11997. 055 11 11997. Kojo, you might want to, respond to that message about, Addo not meeting the criteria yet you suggested him.
That already, yeah. And I've said, and I'll say it over and over again, that is water under the bridge. There's no point, debating it and mulling over it and, having all sorts of conversations around it. I think quite a few others have also said it. Look, what has happened has happened. If it had worked and we were, AFCON champions, etc., we would all be praising, right? It didn't work. Too bad. Let's move on. I think the most important thing is to think about the way forward. Let's not, belabor what has happened in the past. Let's think about the way forward, how we deal with the 2026 World Cup, and then after that, how we deal with the appointment of a permanent Black Stars coach in the future at the price that we can afford. And why, Nat, I keep talking about the money. I keep talking about the money because when we sit outside and we talk, it's very easy to criticize as if we have an open check, as if we have a blank check. We don't have a blank check. We do not have a blank check. There are priorities in this country we need to look at. The Black Stars is one. But health is another. Education is also there. Agric is there. Cocoa is there. Gold is there. So it's not a blank check. It's not an easy decision for the powers that be to make.
055 11997. In a bit, we'll activate the phone line so that you can join us. And Antoine Semenyo has scored and also given an assist.
And is look, they are destroying my Liverpool. Look, if we don't sack Slot, if we don't Liverpool, listen to me. I know it was Black Stars. If we don't sack Slot, we are going nowhere. Nat, your Chelsea is even worse. But this Liverpool team, if we don't sack Slot, we are going nowhere.
I beg,
sack Slot now.
Don't talk Chelsea, but that.
No, seriously speaking, this guy came and met a team that Klopp had set up. Everything was set. He didn't touch anything. We won the Premier League. Had it not been for PSG, we would have won the Champions League. Look at what he's doing. We are 4-0 down. Is it 5 now? Come
4,
on.
Yes.
Look.
Haaland with a hat trick. Semenyo with 1 plus an assist.
Look what is happening to Liverpool.
Yeah.
We spend good money to go and support Liverpool at Anfield, and look at what Slot is doing. Look, these Dutch coaches, they are some of the worst in the world. Dutch coaches don't win the EPL. Slot came and changed that narration. But he did nothing. He used Klopp's team and he won. Name the Dutch coaches in the EPL. Nobody wins anything. Van Gaal, Guus Hiddink, Ruud Gullit. Name them. They don't win. Ten Hag. They don't win anything. Why is Liverpool wasting time, tolerating the Slot man? 4-0. How? I mean, what is this? We are about to not even qualify for the Champions League. Come on.
Well. We'll see.
on.
We'll see how that goes.
We need to
at least
boot
on the
him
opposite
out.
side. On the opposite side of things, I mean, Semenyo is progressing. So at least we
Yeah,
have
that
to
one
go.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy for him. I'm very look. He's probably going to be the best signing in the Premiership this season. Think about it. Signings of the season, definitely January signings. He's the best so far, and proudly Ghanaian.
Definitely. And that also raises a question about deploying talent on the pitch. And I've heard a suggestion I've heard some two suggestions. One of them talking about this appointment that we're expecting, that we broaden up the role to become a managerial role so that he's looking at other aspects of player well-being in addition to tactics and getting us to play and getting us to be of good form. And of course, that metamorphosing into results.
Yeah.
The other one is build a team around the best player, Semenyo. Yeah.
You mean for the Black Stars?
Yes.
You see, the other point that I would like to make is that Kudus has been injured for a while. Prior to this explosion of Semenyo, in my personal opinion, Kudus was
the
best.
man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kudus was our best player. So we need, but unfortunately, Kudus comes back when we wouldn't have any competitive game. His first competitive game is going to be against Panama. So who do we build the team around? But why can't we build it around two players? Does it have to be one? Why can't we build it around Semenyo and Kudus, who, in my opinion, are our two best players today, with a captain in support? All right? With a captain in support. So Semenyo, no doubt, has had... Look, and if we hadn't picked Semenyo, can you imagine we were trying to get Semenyo into the Black Stars now? It won't happen. England would have snapped him long time. So, anyway, so thumbs up to whoever brought Semenyo at the time the person brought Semenyo. But Kudus hasn't played, but we need to acknowledge that he was the man prior to his injury. But we can still build the team around the two of them. Semenyo, Kudus, the captain behind, and Inaki in the wings. Why can't that happen? Listen, I've mentioned 4 world-class players. Inaki is Atletico Bilbao. Semenyo is Man City. Kudus is Tottenham, though tottering. And then Jordan is the captain. Wherever he plays, irrespective, he's the captain. We have 4 solid players. Partey's legs are going, but he's not a write-off. Jiku is there. He's not a write-off. Gideon Mensah. We've got players who should be able to make a mark at the world level. We do.
Let me give the suggestion about having a managerial role which broadens up the scope of the work, to Mr. Thompson. This is a suggestion that was made by Neelanthi van der Poel, who's a former Minister for Youth and Sports. Your thoughts on that particular, suggestion?
Of course, coming from Neelanthi, who's been a sports minister before, it will surely carry some weight. Actually, I served on the transitional committee with him on sports after the elections. But for me, whatever role you want to give, it's all about money. You give him a managerial role, and he has no financial backing. But what is he going to manage? At this stage, right, we should be strategic. This is what I believe in. Let's concentrate on the World Cup. Let's decide whatever we want to get, how much money we want to put in as a nation. Once we put in money worth it, right, I think we can make it. We got a place. The names of some players were mentioned, but this is a tournament. It demands a lot of physicality, a lot of form. Our players are a little bit down because if you study the players, you see that a lot of them were not playing consistently. Right? They were training, but not much fit. You can look at Partey or see the matches they played. Right? So for me, whether you bring the coach for managerial, coaching, and everything, it depends on how much money you want to put in now. A managerial role will only succeed if the coach is supported. It's not like we don't have the people to take managerial decisions. But what do they have? We should invest more in that area, at least for the next, from now up to the end of the World Cup. Let's put some more money in there, right? And I believe we can make it. Let's bear in mind also that we got just some few matches to play. One of the matches we'll be using the not the Black Star place because they will not be available. Either with the Wales match or so, or Mexico, they will not be available. So technically, we have only about 2 matches. I believe we'll play one more match before June 17th. I think they are looking for the country now. And my experience in the World Cup preparation is that I'm able to determine whether the team is ready by maybe the end of May, April, May. It is at that stage that we saw South Africa, Brazil, that the team had gone to that level. And all depends on who will come in when we push them. But who will come in, if you want a top person to come in with a good backup staff, it depends on money. That's the bottom line. It depends on money. How much money do you want to put in now? And I don't think that those are the FA don't have managerial acumen. But like somebody said, they themselves don't have all the money they want to put in. When you speak to them, you realize that they are also at times frustrated. Right? But for me, whether managerial rule, coaching rule, and the rest, if you bring a coach, and you make a coach and a manager, what is he going to manage without money? What is he going to manage? It's going to be only on paper. And they will turn around and come and criticize the person that he was a manager and couldn't manage. What support did you give him? And then bear in mind that coaching depends on support. Let's bear in mind that our performance in South Africa was due to the GMPC support. I led the team, we signed that agreement. We were lucky we had Alex Mood, and we were very lucky we had Mr. Otto Addo, who was chairman of GMPC, who understood football. So they called themselves, look, GMPC, get involved, support the team. And I know the amount of money they put in for Milo and the boys. But unfortunately, we always take the wrong decisions. After that, go back to the debate. They say, what was GMPC money doing football? They should take it out. At the end, where did the GMPC money go? It went to supporting some projects in some regions. Now we are all talking of money. Money. The Sports Fund hasn't received the money. Government has done its best to vote about 90 million. Whether we put $90 for a supporter or not, I believe the supporters should be taken. We should spend money there. Let's go and put the money in. The argument about we have other needs, yes, we have other needs, I agree. But I tell you what, the late Alagia, one day at the stadium, we were talking about Black Star, somebody said, right, he said to the person that somebody was drinking, he was using his money to buy beer every time. So his friend told him that, look, all the money that you are using to buy beer, if you are saved, you would have bought a car. And he asked a friend that you are not drinking, have you bought a car? You haven't bought a car. So as for priority and needs, they are not. Every country has priorities. Right.
But Mr. Thompson, before you go on, let's do a quick throwback. If you'd remember, this conversation about supporters and their importance, in the stands. You do remember that Ghana versus Germany in Brazil, Kojo, you'll be surprised that Mr. Ernest Thompson was the first Ghanaian I saw at the stadium in Fortaleza. After driving all the way from my hotel, to the park and ride, sat in the van. Look, we could see as glaring as 4 generations of Germans. You could see a grandfather, father, son. You could see 3 different generations in a German T-shirt. I remember very well that Mr. Ernest Thompson was the first Ghanaian I saw. I greeted him in the car park.
Yeah.
We both of us were in hospitality, so we used the same gate. We went up there, and we could see a very tiny bit of Ghanaian supporters. Aziz Haruna Futa was one of them. And anytime a German player was mentioned ahead of the start of the game, you could hear the difference in,
noise.
And that can do a lot to either stabilize or destabilize the psyche of players.
You see, not same thing I keep talking about when we decide that we are spending $120,000, $150,000 a month on a coach. The uproar that comes, we need to depoliticize some of these things. It's the politics that worries us. Me, Kojo, I will not belabor or criticize any government that decides that they will try and support a certain core group of persons to go and support a national team. Listen to my word too. I didn't say the Black Stars. I said a national team. Look, Nat, how much is a World Cup ticket? How much is a World... Even the Americans are complaining about the cost of one ticket. How much is the cheapest, commonest World Cup ticket? One. I think from what I have read so far, Litina has left.
It's an idea of,
Yeah, exactly.
And how it's going to get
just
even...
the match ticket, I think it's $140. The cheapest that I have seen, $140. What is Ghana's minimum wage? How much does the ordinary fan who goes to Adekoka
the popular stand,
Osu stand, Centerline Kumasi, Asukwa End, how much does that fan
and they are the fans who create the buzz with the energy.
When I hear, Nasa Ghana for America, baby, they can go and support.
No.
My goodness, those guys, for starters, he's on duty. He's not going to go to them. He's on duty. He's not going to go and watch the game. And even when he goes, he's going to do Ghana will say, yeah. Ghana will say, Yambo and Yambo. There's no vibe. So we have to acknowledge that we can't afford. So look, what I don't like is we politicizing it, saying we are sending party foot soldiers. That's where I have a problem. But they are properly organized. Have you been to a stadium with Argentine fans before? I think you have. You should see how Argentina push their fans into the stadium. And if you are playing Argentina, Nat, you if you are not careful, you can't even say Ghana will say, because the noise they will make. The USA. I was in the stadium when we were playing USA in South Africa. Look, Asamoah Gyan, may God bless his soul, Ghana's greatest in my opinion. If he hadn't scored that goal, I don't know how we would have left the stadium. But the reality is that it is expensive to watch one game at the World Cup. The ordinary fan in Ghana cannot afford it. The supporters...
So they need the support.
They need.
And the support must come from the private sector, not government. Because the white paper...
If government will... I know the white paper did it and everything. But if government will facilitate it transparently... You see, it is when it's not transparent and there's kululu and then, you there, you are not a party apacherik and all that. That's where the problem comes. Cool. But if we open and make it transparent and say that, look, we need to send... There are supporters who have been supporting Ghana. When Ghana is playing in Cocoa 11 in Burkina Accra, they go. Those are the people we should be supporting. Not somebody who just because we are going to the US. Those who have been supporting the Ghanaian teams, not even Ghanaian teams, when in Cocoa 11 versus Ghana are playing in Burkina, in Sierra Leone, in war-torn Sudan, they go. They are the people we should be helping and supporting. But we need the support. Otherwise, there'll be no supporters. There'll be no supporters. I'm telling you.
In these final minutes of the show, I'm sure while you sit back and you reflect, you'd have some preferred names and faces based on experience.
None of the above.
None of the above for you?
Above.
Okay. Mr. Thompson, in your final, submissions, have you thought about any? I mean, there have been so many speculations about names. Some say, go and speak to the Sudanese FA, let them release Kwesi Appiah for some 6 months for us. Some have wrongly speculated on Joachim Love. He's out of the question. There's quite a number of names and faces here. Do you, by chance, have anybody or any set of coaches you feel can be considered?
Oh, I wouldn't mention any name, but I believe that what I believe in that at this stage, having regard to where we are now after changing Coach Otto Addo, we should go in for the best. Right. I will not go in for any Ghanaian coach for this next 6 months. I will not do it. Because my experience shows me that they've not been able to control their team and the boys. They've not been able to do it. I can give you examples of how Bereto controlled the team. Avram Grant, you remember him in Kwarati.
Yeah.
When he's young, forget about it. He's not playing. Finish. We were sent to go and speak to him. At least I said, look, please, I expect you to leave me, let me do my job. I want that type of coach. That Milo, you know Milo, he told you people he doesn't understand English. And
but I learned Kwesi Appiah also had a similar body language towards the job.
For Kwesi Appiah,
I heard that from two different people.
I'm a little bit biased against him at this stage.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he has that kind of villain, that kind of strength, that kind of stiffness, you know what I mean? Right, to control the team. And where we are now, my brother, is not a joke. Let me joke with it. The World Cup stage is not playing league and playing Nations Cup. You saw what the English did. They went for who? Did they appoint an Englishman as a coach for England? No. Brazil, who is their coach now? You need a certain stature of a coach who is going to stand up and be strong. Study the team now, and he should have a solid backup team and solid agents. That's the key thing we don't know, who are monitoring the players for him. In fact, if you have visited the offices of some of these agents in England and the US, and you see the facilities they have, and the way they monitor players for their coaches who are their coaches, who they are giving to, you'll be amazed. When you sit in a meeting with Avram Grant and you ask him a question about a Ghanaian coach with a Ghanaian player, within 2 minutes, he will tell you that this player is playing, he played 90 minutes and the rest. They are on top of the job. I don't think that Kwesi Appiah, if so far is the foremost Ghanaian I can think about. I work with him. I was on the RFA. I saw him. Right, during that time, he was younger then. But for now, I will not go for him. Right. I would rather prefer, and in the absence of any Ghanaian coach I can think about, now, I prefer, I'm being very honest, that's my view. I don't think everybody should agree with me. I prefer a very solid foreign coach who has a certain stature.
Okay.
And will bring some discipline and fear into the team. But the players ought to be moved to a certain level of physicality. And it's not easy doing it. You need very experienced coaches to move them within these short months to get them ready for the tournament. Because we have the class, we have the players, and we can rise up to the occasion. All depends on the decisions we are going to take now. But as I said, it will be for the FA in consultation with key people like you and some of the key sports journalists in taking a decision for the whole country. That's what I would like to see.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ernest Thompson. Thank you so much, Kojo Addo-Mensah. Very, very grateful to you for your thoughts. Thank you, Fento Tahiru Fento. This is how we wrap it up here on this Easter Saturday edition of the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. Thanks to the whole production team for support. Thanks to the rest of the Joy Sports team. And these conversations will go on. We're still waiting with bated breath. We're hoping that these will be considered as well. Now we have to make an investment. There's every single reason for that. And we have to make a bold decision about stature. The stature of the coach really matters. What are the biggest takeouts from the show this afternoon? Thank you all very much, and good afternoon to my good friend Domie Ernest Ubanzi. Thank you so much for always doing the listening. We're going to catch up in the neighborhood soon. All right, thank you all so much. Have a wonderful Easter, and of course, as always, my man and your man Kwame Dazi here with me. We are the only people left here in Accra. It's interesting.
But I thought you were emceeing one of the sessions.
Oh, don't worry. Gomwa is not over.
Yeah, you still here.
Gomwa is not over, my guy.
Okay, we have this afternoon, this evening, tomorrow dawn.
Remember,
tomorrow
this afternoon is only 2 hours in. So we have all the way till.
Oh, so we can still
5.
go.
Don't worry. Don't worry. You know how I move.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry at all.
I know.
Yeah.
So once we are done with showbiz A to Z,
most def.
And today we're talking about the Gomwa Easter Carnival.
Super.
Everything carnival. Yeah. Look at the culture, the arts, and the tourism aspect of it.
And you know, for me, one of the biggest takeouts, and for which I'm very, very proud of my brother A+ is that, you know, I saw a video of a food vendor.
Yeah.
You know, and she said, listen, since the whole buzz came to town, she's recorded very high sales.
Exactly.
They've seen a high number of visitors. The town is looking clean.
Of
mean,
course.
that is one of the biggest moments of joy for me. You know, and if we are to replicate this across board, you know, and after seeing the images from Gomwa Easter Carnival, courtesy our very good coverage and big ups to the whole team, you know, now everybody is thinking, oh, Charlie, we should do. I just saw someone write on the status, Charlie, we have to take this thing to Volta. And my Volta brothers and sisters, look, long overdue. My Volta brothers and sisters, look, because as for Volta, they have every element of nature that can help them to do something very, very fabulous.
I hear Edem Agbana is doing something in the Volta region as well.
My brother Edem Agbana, fantastic guy. I mean, he's been brought on to serve on football as well. He's got a lot of interesting ideas. And so if Edem Agbana, you know, the musician Edem and the rest of them, they all come together, you know, people from various sectors come together.
I agree.
Look, it will be amazing.
I agree.
You know, they've already started the Volta Fair.
Yeah.
You know, my brother Kafui Day, Jifa Bampo, the whole. Look, Charlie, let's do it, Charlie. So that now we'll be sport for choice this year.
You see,
Gomwa,
you go here small, then you come here small.
Yeah, but Gomwa there we for run some 5-6 years because you know,
Charlie, you go pop.
Charlie, make sure you come along with the highest paid DJ.
The highest paid.
Yeah.
No, we will do all. Don't worry.
But you know.